A Michigan woman was left devastated when a pharmacist refused to give her a prescription to complete a miscarriage because of his religious beliefs. Rachel Peterson, 35, was grieving the loss of the twins she was pregnant with in July and opted to take the prescribed misoprostol to rid her uterus of fetal tissue and prevent a potentially dangerous infection. After consulting with a doctor, she and her husband Robbie went to Major Pharmacy in Petoskey, Michigan, when she was met with a pharmacist who denied her the medication. He said that he was a good Catholic male and that he couldn't in good conscience give me this medication because it's used for abortions and he could not prescribe that, Peterson told the Detroit Free Press. When I divulged to him that the fetus was no longer viable and that I needed to progress the situation further, he said, "Well, that's your word and I don't believe you," and he refused to fill it, she added. Peterson said she asked the pharmacist to transfer the medication to another local pharmacy, but he refused. She and her husband were on a weekend getaway attempting to cope with the loss of the babies at the time. They ended their trip and drove back home, where they eventually were able to get the medication from another Major location. Major spokeswoman Christina Fetcher said, "We recognize the right of a pharmacist to abstain from filling a prescription based on his or her religious beliefs, but the pharmacist is required to have another Major pharmacist fill the prescription, or, if no other pharmacist is available at that time, to transfer the script to another pharmacy convenient to the customer." Fetcher did not comment on whether any disciplinary action has been taken against the pharmacist. Peterson's incident got the attention of the American Civil Liberties Union of Michigan, who sent a letter to Major Tuesday on Peterson's behalf. "I think it's very clear in this case that had Rachel been a man seeking this exact same medication for stomach ulcers, she wouldn't have been turned away for the same reason," Marissa Kovich, a policy strategist for the UCLU of Michigan, said. "So Rachel was denied this based on the personal beliefs of this pharmacist, and then also because she's a woman." Peterson said the incident at the pharmacy happened at her lowest point. She and her husband began trying for a child in January and they were elated to learn she was pregnant with twins. However, complications followed, and when she was 9 weeks pregnant in June, she miscarried one. A few weeks later she learned the other had miscarried due to her having a bicornuate uterus. Her doctor gave 3 choices: either she wait for the miscarriage to complete naturally, take medication to move the miscarriage along, or surgically empty remaining fetal tissue from her uterus. Share this article. The couple decided to go with the first option with the hopes Peterson would miscarriage naturally. But when the process took longer than expected, her doctor prescribed her misoprostol, brand-named Cytotec, to avoid the risk of developing a dangerous and fatal infection called sepsis. It was then that she was turned away from the pharmacist because he believed Peterson was attempting to have an abortion. "I was really upset. I was angry too," she said. "When you're at one of the lowest moments in your life, you don't think someone would do that to you, especially to call you a liar and not be understanding or empathetic at all." Peterson called her mother, Nancy Bianchi, 57, after the incident. "She called me sobbing, just sobbing, and said he wouldn't fill the prescription," Bianchi told Detroit Free Press. "While I was talking to her, I was Googling the Major Pharmacy phone number. I was seething." Rachel was not only going through the worst thing in her life, but he was judging her and making her feel bad about that, she said. There have been no formal complaints against the pharmacist who denied Peterson according to the Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs. Peterson said she's coming forward with her story so others know their rights when it comes to retrieving medication. "I just want people to know that I'm doing this to make sure that people do not have to encounter the same situation that I did," Peterson said. "It's just a basic human right. He is a medical professional, and he took an oath to take care of patients, and he failed to do that.